motherfucker. Alright. Welcome back to the podcast. I got my boy DMoss5050 on here right now. Hopefully we'll take some calls later as well. But we're live streaming this shit. And hey man, thanks for joining.
Shit, no problem, man. What's good?
Not too much, man. Fucking getting hammered. And trying to have a good time over here. So we had discussed a couple of topics that we could dive deeper into. So how many you got written down over there?
A couple.
A couple?
Got like
Alright.
20 million.
Good. Well, I got not that many, but I've got a few. So one I wanted to talk about is the human ego, okay? And how I think it's both a good thing and a bad thing. Like your sense of ego drives you in a lot of ways, right? Like you know, you want people to think highly of you. You don't want people to think you're some fucking loser, right? So you fucking push hard to try to be successful in all these things. And having self-confidence, you know, that definitely is part of an ego. And I don't know, it's kind of complicated. What do you think when you think about ego? What comes to mind?
I mean, usually, I guess it would associate more with, you know, somebody who can develop one. Like, I don't know. It's like I don't know. I never really. Well, I used to probably have one for sure when you start thinking about money and things like that create that. But it's weird, man. It's like, once you can like get rid of that, it's totally different. So.
Right. Oh yes, May. I don't know. I've definitely I've met some people with like huge egos, and it's very frustrating. It's hard to fucking deal with these people. Like the whole time they're talking, you just know like that guy thinks he's the shit. You know, like fuck that guy. But I find for the most part people are pretty humble, but not always, for sure. But alright, anyways, I ain't really got too much good shit to say about egos. I mean, I guess when it comes to music, I think people with a small ego are the fucking best ones. You know, for instance, like we'll get to this topic again later, but Kanye West, alright, this is a perfect example of somebody who has like a lot of talent, undeniably, but his ego is so fucking big that I don't like him, and I don't even listen to his music because of it.
I agree.
I'm like, fuck that, you know, like, I just feel like if I met that guy in person, I would be like, fuck him, you know.
Yeah.
Just that's just
I know
my,
it does get in the way for some people, man. Like,
yeah.
dude, somebody I cannot stand is Odell Beckham Jr. Like,
Really?
no question. Like, just he's got that arrogant. Like, his play is great. I don't mind his play.
Yeah.
I just mind the person he is. Like,
Yeah.
like he's a good person though. I've seen him do good things as far as like with the kids and stuff, and you know he's active and he's always helping like that. But I'm talking about in the league, like on camera, how you act is like, you know, it's different when you're in your zone playing the game. But
Right.
I just seen him do that shit with Josh Norman, and I was like, what a pussy.
Yeah. Josh Norman fucking worked his ass too, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, there's a lot of people like that in the entertainment industry and stuff that you can just tell are like fucking douchers. And sometimes it's to the point that like, I can't really see past it, and I don't really want to check out your work because fuck that guy, you know.
Oh, for sure.
One person who I've seen video of online, I mean, I've heard that he's a super douche, but then I've seen a couple videos as well as John Mayer, and he's like worshipped in the guitar community. I didn't even know until recently. Like I don't really hear much about him. I don't really give a shit, but I know a lot of people now that are huge John Mayer fans, and like if you look it up online, dude, like he's a fucking douche. Like there's a couple videos of him like being a fucking asshole to some of his fans, and I was just like, dude, that was kind of fucked up. Like he just like shit on them, you know. It was very very bizarre.
I heard the dude from Nickelback was kind of like that too.
Oh, Chad Kroeger.
Yeah.
Dude, it's funny. Actually, the guy that I sit next to at work, he met Chad Kroeger back in like the early 2000s before they were like big. You know, it was like probably like the year 2000 or something. And he was out drinking at a bar in town here, and you know they're from Canada, so it's not too far away. And they were in town playing a show or something, and he was at a strip club, and he's in there fucking getting hammered, having a blast, and then he looks over and he sees fucking Nickelback over there, and he's like, hey, aren't you that guy from fucking Nickelback? He's like, yeah, I am actually. He's like, ha, alright. He's like, and then after that I just fucking blacked out and made an ass of myself right in front of those guys. So I was like, hey, well that's whatever, that's a story, but I don't know. But at the same time, being super famous, it's probably super hard to be cool all the time. You know,
Yeah.
like if people were just fucking constantly interrupting your dinner at a restaurant to get your signature, and you might be cool with it for a couple years and just being super nice and like, okay, yeah, sure, hey, no problem. And then as soon as you sign their fucking thing, you're like, sorry, yeah, what was I saying? And somebody else comes up, hey, I'm sorry to bother you, but would you mind if I take a picture? And you're like, yeah, no, it's fine, come on, you know, bam, and you do that, and you put up with it for like years, and then it gets to the point where like you're sitting there having your meal, and somebody comes walking up, and you're like, oh, fuck off, you know, like I heard about Russell Crowe. There's a story where this girl, like Russell Crowe was having dinner with, what's her name, that super hot fucking Australian chick that was married to Tom Cruise. What's her fucking name?
What?
Oh, she's so hot. What's her name? The blonde chick. She's in a couple movies with him too. I should totally know this. I'm embarrassed that I don't know that. Hold on. I gotta look this up. She's now married to that fucking singer. Her name is Nicole Kidman. Fuck me, I should have known that. Alright, so anyways, Russell Crowe's having dinner with Nicole Kidman. I don't know if they were doing a movie together or something, but there was this girl there who ended up becoming an actress, but she got some like scholarship through like Nicole Kidman's foundation or whatever it was, and she just happened to be at the restaurant while Nicole Kidman was in there, so she's like, man, I should go up and like just thank her, you know. So she's like, I get up and I go walking over towards the table, and Russell Crowe just turns and he's like, oh, fuck off, would you? She's just like in front of a bunch of people, you know, and she fucking went back to her seat, and she ended up like being a pretty big actress herself. I can't remember who it is, but it's just, you know, and he's probably not a dick in general. He just, I mean, can't have any fucking privacy. You know, he's trying to enjoy a fucking meal with somebody, and you know, I don't know. So
That's
maybe
true,
there's
though.
people. Maybe John Mayer's a super cool guy, but I like to think he's a fucking douche. I don't know why. But
Hey, you never know, man. Some of them people are different in public
yeah,
than they are.
oh for sure. And I got a buddy who's way up in the music industry, the guy that I interned for, and he's met a ton of, you know, celebrities and shit, and that's what he said. He's like, dude, he's like, for the most part, almost everybody is like super cool. Like when you meet them, they're just a regular ass person, and it's kind of mind blowing. You're like just hanging out with this like superstar celebrity who is just a chill fucking guy, just like some guy you met at a party, you know.
Yeah.
But they have this giant following, you know, and they've been in movies and whatever, but they're just a fucking person, you know. But he said he's definitely met a few who have like some huge ego, and it's like this big show they're putting on constantly, and he's like, it's very, very bizarre, you know, that you gotta like be around these people and like play into their ego, or else you're a fucking asshole. It's very, very strange. But anyways, another topic I wanted to talk about was public speaking. Okay.
All right.
So I have public speaking anxiety. Like if I'm in front of a group of people, oh, fucking brutal. And I swear, dude, I don't think that was ever a problem for me until I got to college. Like I don't think I ever remember that being scary until I was like 23. I don't know why. I don't know what could have changed in those years, but by that time, like, I remember it was like, I started back at college and we were going to go around the room and introduce ourselves. And I almost had a fucking heart attack. Like, especially if you're the very last one in the group, which I fucking was. So you gotta watch each person go for like 10 fucking minutes. They're like, okay, and I swear it sounds so simple, but like the teacher would be like, yeah, just tell a little bit about yourself. What kind of programs you use to work on music stuff. I don't know, maybe like a hobby, what you do on the side, whatever. It sounds easy, but so then each person goes, and I'm sitting there thinking like, what am I supposed to talk about again? Okay, he said to do this and what programs I use and whatever.
Yeah.
And then like I'm watching each person go, and most people are fine. Fine. Some guy, he fucks it up. He's all nervous and shaking and shit, and I'm like, oh god damn, that's me. I don't want to do that. And then the next guy goes, whatever. A couple people fuck it up good, and by that point, dude, my fucking heart's beating so bad I can feel my body rocking back and forth, and I'm just trying to stay still, and my heart's fucking. I'm just like, oh goddamn, I'm gonna fucking die any second. And then the girl next to me's going, she's like, oh, I'm Christine. I'm from, fucking South Carolina. And I'm just sitting there like, I'm gonna pass out. I'm gonna fucking pass out. Oh my god, this is it. This is how I die. And then they're like, all right, go ahead. And I'm like, I'm Brian. I'm from North Carolina or whatever. And I fucking do my pitch. And I always end up getting through it okay, but I almost die before I start talking.
Yeah.
And I don't fucking like it. And actually, go ahead.
I was gonna say shit like I don't mind it too much.
Really?
It does like in college and in high school and shit. That shit would bother me. Like,
yeah.
Have to go up in front of the class.
Right.
But then like it's weird, man. Like eventually, I was just like fuck it and just kind of did it.
Yeah.
Like, because I took speech in college, and that shit was, it was just basically doing live speeches about something you learn about, in front of the whole fucking class.
Right.
So, and like one of the things he graded you on was like eye contact and shit, looking people in the eyes, just keep looking at different people in the eyes.
Right.
It was weird.
Yeah. Yeah, with my my latest job, during the training process, we had to like introduce ourselves to the class like over and over and over again, and we had to do all these role-playing exercises in front of the group. Oh, it was like my fucking worst nightmare, dude. I almost quit so many times just because like I just couldn't fucking take it. Like, it was just brutal. I mean, a lot of people, like, they say that like people's number one fear in general is public speaking, even more so than death. They would rather die than speak in public, which seems crazy. I believe it. It's like, why is that so scary? But there's a lot of theories about that. They say that like back in the caveman days, when we're running around in our little tribes and shit, that like if you spoke up in front of the group, there was a good chance that somebody might end up fucking killing you. Just, it was like some status thing, and if you spoke in front of the group, like the alpha male of the group might fucking try to kill you, and so people learned to shut the fuck up.
Well, damn.
Yeah, so that's one of the theories behind it, but I just know that I don't like it. But
yeah, no question.
I've gotten much more relaxed because of the actual job, where I just talk to people all fucking day. That's all I do, is just talk and talk and talk all fucking day. And it just has gotten me comfortable, to the point that I don't know, I just wing it, and I usually do okay. But the idea of speaking in public still fucking freaks me out. I don't like it one bit. Yeah.
I'm telling you, sometimes it's bad.
Yeah,
you go up there, man, you be standing up there and forget everything you're saying.
Yeah.
I've had that happen. I just kind of like wing it.
Yeah. I mean, I've definitely had a couple of like public speaking awkward moments. I I think one of the worst ones I ever had was, it was a small group of my friends. You know, there's like 5 or 6 of us or whatever, and we're hanging out, and we were freestyling. And, you know, so like a couple people went, you know, some fucking whack shit, because these aren't rappers, you know, just whatever, yo, go to the dough, and yeah, hit the flow, oh, you know, some whack shit. And then, so one guy's like, yo, man, you go, you go. He's like, dude, this guy's got some sick shit, man, he fucking raps, you know. And I was like, alright, man, alright, here we go. And I was like, yo, we gotta go to the store, get some more beer. Yo, let's fucking do it. I gotta get fucked up. And, like, I just had nothing, like, nothing rhymed. And then that same guy was like, that was fucking terrible. And I was like, yep. Like, dude, that was, like, traumatic. Like, everybody was just kind of like they felt bad for me because I did so bad, you know? And I was just like, that was fucking terrible. What was that, you know? And, so since then, I don't ever fucking freestyle anymore. And, I don't like it. It's not for me, you know? And,
Yeah.
I had a moment in front of a class of like 250 people in college one time, where I was sitting in the very back row in the very corner, right? And it's kind of hard to explain, but there's like, you know, chairs that wrap all around the room. It's like a big curve, you know, it's like a semicircle. And I was the very top back row corner seat, you know? And so we were passing around these surveys on the first day of class, and it was like, you know, it's like a little pre-test to see what you know, and then at the end of the semester you take the same test again to see, you know, how much you learned or whatever. So they passed them all out, and they passed one to every single person in that fucking class, 250 people, and they ran out of slips when they got to me. I was the very last one at the end of the row, and they're like, dude, we don't have any more to give you. And I was like, what? I was like, that's awesome, you know. And then at the end of the semester, like, you know, 3 months later, whatever it was, they went passing them all out again, and they fucking ran out again when they got to me. I was the very last one, and they didn't have them again. And I was like, oh, I was like, that's awesome. And I was like, this is crazy. This happened twice, you know? Like, you had to have passed them out the same fucking way for that to happen. Otherwise, it could have been the guy on the other end or whatever, you know? And so they ran out when they got to me, and I remember, like, I was like, oh, this is awesome. Like, and everybody's looking at me, you know? And I was like, sitting up here's the G spot. It was a fucking terrible choice of words, because, like, I didn't mean G spot, like, sexually the G spot. I just meant, like, a spot for G's or whatever, you know? And so I was like, yo, I was like, sitting up here's the G spot. And, like, everybody started laughing, and I just went, like, pale. Like, I was like, I can't believe I said that. And one guy sitting like 2 rows in front of me, he looks back at me, and he's like, the G spot. He's like, what a fucking idiot. And I was just like, yep. That was a
damn,
man. Yeah, big giant room full of people. Made a fucking ass of myself. Oh yeah, good stuff.
Dude, I've seen it happen a couple times. Some people, man, it fucking freaks them all out.
Oh yeah, I think that's what makes me nervous, is seeing other people have a meltdown, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when I was going to ECSU, we all had to do a presentation for one of my classes, and there was a guy in our class who's like, I don't know, I would say he was like kind of a handsome guy, seemed like really smooth talker, just confident fella, you know. And then you know, when it was his turn to present, he went up there and he did like, you know, he did like a minute of his presentation, and then froze up in front of everybody, you know. Damn. And it got like all awkward, and I was like, oh, I was like, that's fucking painful to watch. And he was just like, I'm sorry, and went and sat down in his seat, and everybody, it was like so awkward. Like, that was like the most awkward thing he could have done, you know. And everybody's just sitting there, and we're all silent, and the teacher's just like, okay, Christine, you're next. And she went up, and we were all just kind of like looking at each other like, what the fuck was that, man? Like, you were doing fine, buddy. What'd you do? You know, like, It was fucking terrible, dude. And he was so embarrassed. Like, he just sat down and just, like, I could just see the shame on his face. And I was just like, dude, that was, like, one of the most fucked up things I ever saw in my life, you know? Like, the thing is, he wasn't even being all nervous and weird up there, you know, because that would have been like, I understand. He just, like, had a meltdown, but, like, he was doing fine. Like, I was hardly paying attention. I was like, yeah, he's up there talking about his fucking thing. I don't really give a shit. Yeah, man, what time's this class over? Whatever. And then it got all awkward, and all of a sudden, that's when everybody started paying attention. Like, what's happening? Why'd he stop talking? And he's just, like, looking around the room, just having a fucking, you know, near-death experience, and just fucking, just, I'm sorry, and walked off. You're like, what was that? You know?
Man, you dropped the damn ball on that one.
Yeah, no kid, dude. But so I got another topic for you here. Talking about aggression and violence and how they tie together. And for instance, I know I'm not an aggressive guy. You know, I mean, I don't know how long it's been since I've been in a fucking fight of some sort. You know, I almost got in a fight like a year ago or something, and kind of the reason I wanted to bring this up is because I've had all these moments where I almost got in a fight, or like somebody was being a dick and like shit almost got out of hand, and then, you know, there's a little part of me that thinks like, you should have fucking slugged him. You should have fucking just popped his ass. He was asking for it. He was. You know, and I almost like craved the violence a little bit, but then at the same time, at the end of the day, I'm totally glad I didn't do that, because there's so many bad things that can happen from getting in like a fight, dude. Like, there are so many stories of people, you know, like, you punch some guy out. Let's say you get in a fight with somebody. The best thing that can happen is you knock him the fuck out, right? Like, bam, you're unscathed. You fucking popped him, dropped his ass. People do that, and then the guy falls and hits his head on the ground and fucking dies. You know, now you're going to fucking prison for manslaughter. It's like, it's a bad idea, man. It's a bad thing. So
that's mostly the problem with it. I don't like, dude. That's why I hold the gun, like, or hold the trigger more than anything else. Cause damn, you can do something now, you're gonna do damn 2 to like 10 years, depending on what happens. Or you can hit somebody, and then 2 days later, somebody wants to come shoot your ass. It's like, it's nothing. I mean, that's actually kind of ties back into egos and pride, because you know, people get fucking salty over shit like that. Nobody's willing to admit that they're wrong.
Oh, right.
And that's one thing, man, because like a lot of people, you know, they're still stuck in high school mode, worrying about, you know, who the fuck thinks they're cool or not, or what they're doing is cool or not. But that's when it becomes like, hey, man, that's people with an ego. They're, you know, whether a good or bad one, it's like they're just going to be drawn to those things. But yeah,
true. Yeah, it's like, I love that quote from that movie Friday, you know, where he's when whatever his name is, what's the main character's name in Friday? Craig. Okay, so, you know, Ice Cube, you know, he plays Craig in that movie, and he's in there, and he pulls a gun out of his fucking drawer, and he's about to walk out of the room, and his dad walks in, he's holding the gun, and he's like, oh, fuck, you know. And so his dad starts talking to him, and he's like, son, you don't need a gun. He's like, nowadays everybody's scared to take an ass whooping. He's like, back in my day, he's like, this was all you needed. He's like, you win some, you lose some, but you live. You live to fight another day, you know. And I was just like, oh yeah, God, I fucking love that quote, you know. And but yeah, nowadays,
yeah, it's true. It's true.
Uh-huh.
It's sure true. Like, there's been many a time being around certain people, just the context of how they say something, especially when you start getting under working for currency and shit, and then people start like feeling like they're just above you in a position they can just talk to you how they feel.
Oh yeah.
Instead of respecting you. It's fucking crazy now. I don't mind, like if there's certain people that do certain things, hell yeah, you should be able to talk to them, you know, how you gotta do to handle business. But I don't know, man. People nowadays, you get in a fight and fucking you just end up either the fine is like $1,000, or it's not
Yeah.
like over in Iceland where they'll just tell you, hey, knock it off and go home.
Take it home,
Something
boys.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I know it's a very dicey thing. So like, you know, I have my moments where I think like, man, I should have fucking popped that guy. Like, especially looking back to like high school and like a couple moments where people were fucking with me, that I just think like, you should have just punched that guy right in his fucking face. He was asking for it, you know, and I let it go or whatever. But overall, I'm glad that I didn't get in, you know, physical confrontations, because things could have gone so fucking bad too, you know, for either one of us. I mean, like, obviously, you know, when I was 18, I got my nose broken, you know, in a fucking confrontation, and, you know, it worked out terribly for everybody. I had to go through surgery and all kinds of shit, and the guy that did it, you know, had to pay $15,000 for my fucking nose repair, you know, so that's a perfect example of like, it's a bad idea, you know. And
Yeah, no question. Plus, man, dude, that's the best thing right there. It doesn't benefit your life no more to fight.
Yeah,
It doesn't. You don't gain anything from it.
right.
Yeah,
So
it's not like you're fucking making any more money all of a sudden, or any less money all of a sudden, or
yeah,
it don't make no
you're
difference.
probably just gonna have to end up paying money if anything, you know. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's
it's
not
fucking
good.
crazy.
But
So what do you think about LeBron James' hairline?
That's a mystery. Yeah.
It is. I just picture like Steph Curry around it shooting threes.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a fucking 3-point line.
Yeah, no question.
Let me look at this shit.
This shit's bad. I'm like, damn, how are you that young, that rich, and have a hairline like that?
I know, dude.
That make no fucking sense.
He could be getting some shit done to that. Let me see. I'm about to share my screen. I got to show people what's fucking really good with it. Yeah, buddy. Look at LeBron James' fucking hair. Good Lord.
God. Looks like he dyed it blonde in the corner over there. Damn.
Yeah.
This shit looks like the Eminem emblem.
Yeah. I think this is a fake one, but that's just funny looking.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Let me see. There we go.
Something's wrong with him.
Is that LeBron? That almost looks like a
That's
stranger.
DMX. That's DMX.
DMX. Fucking with a dog. Dog gonna bite. Hey, there you go. That's a funny one.
Yeah, no.
Fucking NBA 2K had to push this shit back.
You might as well just shave it off and go bald.
Good Lord.
This shit's nuts. So if you had to pick somebody for the Super Bowl, man, who do you pick?
Fuck, man. Patriots got a solid shot, don't they? They always fucking do.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, man. That's 100% the truth. Hey, dude, Patriots gonna, as long as they have Belichick, they're gonna be top notch.
Yeah. Fuck, man. I mean,
I tell you
that'd
something.
be my guess whether they want it this year or not. I mean,
I got an underdog, man. I think that Oakland could do it.
you think so?
Dude, they just signed Marshawn Lynch as their running back. I believe they
'cause
got
he
Carr
retired,
coming
didn't he?
back. Yeah, he came out of retirement. He's at Oakland now. And I believe they still got Crabtree. What's his name? I'm trying to think of dude's name. I can't remember his name. But he's
What
dope.
good are you,
They got a
you
good
piece
wide
of
receiver
shit?
core. What?
Here, check this shit out. Look at this bottom picture. This shit was fucking cracking me up, dude. Like, given enough time, that's where his fucking hair's going. Like, good Lord.
Something's wrong with him. Murray's couldn't fix that shit, man.
Yeah, no fucking kidding.
Good lord.
I had some other topics here. What do we got? All right, so what do you think might be some misconceptions about you, like people that don't know you well, that they, might think about you from a distance?
Oh shit, there ain't no telling what people think about me from a damn distance. As soon as they see, the reason I have my hair like it is because it pretty much allows me to know who is real and who is fake from the moment they see what I am. And it's crazy because it kind of stops an instance to where I would have had a relationship with a human being that, and you meet as strangers, you don't know who they are. You're just meeting somebody new, but you don't know their full background and what kind of person they are. So usually with dreads, man, I get them people, that's like, oh my god, they think I'm fucking this, the average stereotypical what comes with them. And but that lets me know, who I am. I mean, I'm not out here doing bad shit, so like it don't make no sense to me. It's just like a look, you know what I mean? But I think people like to stereotype it in like that, or you're a criminal because you have a beard, or like, I don't know. Other than that, my personality is totally different.
Right. Yeah. Well, in my case, I've had people that once they get to know me, they'll tell me that they thought I was an asshole from a distance, because like I don't know, I just don't strike up conversations with people, like ever.
Yeah.
And especially like I used to work at a gym where like people would come in and I'd say like, "Hey, how's it going?" They'd give me their card, "Have a good workout." That's it. I got nothing else to say. Or like if I was in there working out or something and they happen to come in, I'm doing my own thing. I don't say shit. I don't got anything to say. If they say, "Hey, how's it going?" I'd be like, "Oh, hey, how are you?" But like I just don't really. I'm not a big talker. I don't really strike up conversations like that. And so I've had people tell me like, then I'll hang out with those people later at a bar or something like that, and be like, "Oh, hey, yeah, from the gym, whatever, yeah, whatever," and they'd be like, "Dude, I gotta be honest with you. Like, I kind of thought you were a fucking asshole before I like started talking to you. Like, really? Like, where do you get that from?" And then they'll tell me like, "Yeah, you never say anything. You never say hello." I'm like, "You don't say hello to me first either. I don't think you're a fucking asshole. I don't know. I just don't give a shit enough about you to even, think that you were or weren't an asshole." But yeah, I've heard that from several people.
Fucking Good said that, I think.
Oh yeah, well fuck man, we didn't like each other when we first met, for sure. He was one of those fucking grass fairy fucking douches, and fucking stupid douche. And I think we were playing soccer in team sports class or something, and well actually before that we had met and he asked me if I was a freshman and I was a junior, because I looked super young, and I fucking flipped shits on him, and I was like, "Yeah, you're real fucking funny, man." He's like, "Oh no, I didn't mean to, like, I really thought you were a freshman." I'm like, "Yeah, I really think you're a fucking asshole, so how about that?" And so we didn't like each other from right then. And then when we were in team sports class together, we were playing soccer, and I remember I had a fucked up knee at the time, and I remember he had the ball out of bounds, and like in soccer, I don't remember the fucking rules, but you can't move both your feet or one of your feet, whatever the fuck it is, and you throw the ball in, and so I was standing there right in front of him, and every time he go to throw it in, I jump up with my hands and block it, like you would do in basketball or something. He's like, "You can't use your fucking hands." It's like, give me a yellow card. What are you gonna fucking do? What are you gonna do? So he'd go to throw it in again. I'd just jump up and swat it. I did it like 3 times in a row, and he just fucking kicked me in the knee so hard, dude. Like he didn't realize I had a fucked up knee, but like he just fucking drilled me in the knee, and I went down. I was like, "Oh God, you don't know what you just did. You don't know what you just did." And like they just went on playing like it was no big deal, But I was like, "Fuck that guy, fuck him." Like we didn't like each other at all. And then one day we were in there playing basketball, and I needed like a teammate to play 2-on-2 or something. And he was like, yeah, I mean, I'll play, you know. And I was like, all right, whatever, you know, like I need a teammate. I guess we'll play. And like he was fucking good, and we fucking shit on whoever we were playing against. We had a fucking blast. Like he was unselfish and would pass the ball, and I'd fucking pass him the ball, and somebody would score, and like, you know, it was like 30 minutes or something we played, and afterwards I was like, I think I like this fucking guy, and he was like, yeah, man, me and my brother, we go up to the YMCA and play all the time, you know, if you ever want to come with us. I was like, for real? I was like, I might actually want to do that, you know, and then so yeah, I think we ended up going to the YMCA like a week later or something, and fucking been fucking boys ever since. So what do you know?
What do you
But
know?
hey, what do you know? But let's see. Okay, so something I've thought about before is like I get my moments of jealousy, you know, where I think about people that are successful and I'm not that successful yet or whatever. People that have a bunch of money and I don't got shit, you know, whatever. And one thing that I think about is like, you know, think about like let's just say the 1600s, for instance, okay? Let's say that you were like the king of England or something. The tippy fucking top dog in the world, right? Like, dude, I think that was a pretty shitty life. All they had was like food and whores, you know, the whores, that would have been okay, you know. But I mean really, like, I almost think I'd rather just be a dude now with the internet, you know? Like, you get so much entertainment and so many different things you can learn and all that. But back then, fuck, man, like, they didn't even have a bunch of books. Like, they just had nothing. Like, when you woke up and you're the king, you just like, what am I gonna do today? You know, what is there to even do? Oh, well, first off, you eat, then you do a whore, and then you fucking sit around for a few hours, you know, and then you have lunch, you know, and that's your life, dude. That's like, I mean, I don't think that's like some ballin' life, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have jewels and all these fancy things. So the fuck what? It's just a bunch of bullshit, you know. So, yeah, and I think that might be the same thing in the future, you know. So it's like, would you rather be, you know, a poor guy in 100 years or rich now? I don't know. Maybe in the future there'll be some such ballin' shit that they'll be like, you know, making fun of us, like, oh, they had their sports cars and their, you know, their fucking models. Who gives a shit, you know? So,
Yeah, no question.
I don't know.
It's different though. That's definitely a different topic to talk about. Like,
Yeah. I think
there's
weird
some,
shit, man. I don't know.
hey, there ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
That's how you keep expanding the mind.
But I would definitely rather be rich now than fucking rich then. No question. Let me see. Okay, so we talked about this a little bit earlier, like things that you might change looking back over the years, you know?
Yeah,
Is there
yeah.
anything that has come to mind that you might do differently?
Shit, I don't know, man. Like, I probably won't be able to answer. I've made pretty good decisions so
Yeah.
far. I would feel anyway. You know, I feel like one thing I learned being little was knowing the difference between right and wrong. But, dude, I would like to have played a little more ball, but that I would have to sacrifice doing music, and you know, that was a hard call.
Right.
But that's probably about it. Just continuing playing ball.
Yeah. No, I gotcha. I know. I mean, looking back, I wish I'd eaten better when I was younger. Because if I'd eaten better, things would have been totally different. I wouldn't have hit puberty so late, probably. And I might have, you know, grown earlier and been more athletic, thus been a much better basketball player. And, you know, may have been able to play college ball, you know. I mean, by the time I was like 23, for instance, like I was dunking between the legs, fucking going off, you know, shitting on people on the basketball court, just because I was, you know, I had some fucking athletic ability for a change, you know. And I just think that like if I had hit puberty at like 12 or 13 like most people, I might have been like that when I was 18, you know. And so I don't know. I mean, that's definitely fucking kind of quality you can get a fucking scholarship off of, you know. So
Oh yeah.
but at the same time, I mean, so few people ever get a shot at the NBA or whatever, you know. Like, I don't got the frame for that shit. I mean, you got to be either, you know, 6'9" and athletic as fuck, or at my height, 6'3". That's like tall for normal, but you'd be like one of the shortest players in the NBA, you know.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
have to be a fucking freak of nature to be athletic enough to hang, you know. And I'm definitely not that, you know. So I had no shot in hell at making it to the NBA or something like that. But I would have liked to have played college ball. That would have been cool. So I get where you're coming
Oh,
from
no
on that.
question.
Yeah.
Oh, that was one thing I noticed was the difference of like switching the levels is like the only one thing is like it's the game speed changes.
Yeah.
And like it's crazy, man. Like sometimes some people are just born 6'7", 6'8", and that's one thing I hate about sports is like playing sports through different leagues and classifications in college and stuff. You'll find that, dude, every school in the country has somebody, a part of their program, that probably could play in the league now of some sort, no matter the sport. But it's crazy because all these guys sit back and they'll go, oh, well, if he's not at least 6'2", if he's not at least 250 pounds, if he doesn't run at least a 4.7 40, if he can't jump at least a 32-inch vertical, then they're just not even putting him on the list. But these guys don't miss tackles, don't miss plays.
Yeah.
You know, they might be a step or two slower or underweight or undersized. It's crazy, man.
Right. See, but for instance, I mean, he's a very, very rare exception, but like Steph Curry, he's my height and not super athletic. I mean, I don't think anybody would say he's some fucking physical, you know, freak or something.
Yeah.
Pure skill, and don't get me started on that guy. Jesus, man, that guy is so fucking good at basketball. I mean, dude, he's out there breaking ankles left and right and popping threes. I mean, it's like, holy fucking shit. So he is like on another level. But with the exception of him, everybody else in the league is fast as fuck. Jumps out the fucking gym. Like, if you ever played a pickup game with those guys, they would fucking destroy you, you know?
Yeah.
Block every shot in your fucking mouth and, like, oh, you know, it just fucking freak. So for somebody like him to be able to hang in a situation like that, it's fucking impressive for sure. But, okay, so I got another topic. Cocaine.
Cocaine?
Yeah. So most of my friends have done more than a little bit of coke in their day. I've never even tried it personally. I've thought about it for sure. I've been interested. Seems like it'd be a pretty crazy thing to check out, you know. And especially they talk about like, man, you get so much shit done when you're on it, you know. And like you're hyped up and in a good mood and want to fucking do some work, you know. And that sounds appealing to me. I get that, you know.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
So fucking expensive. Oh.
Oh, no question. I tell you, I have never done it, but I've noticed some people do it and been around people do it, but like I don't know, man. There's worse things out there, I guess, a person could take into their body. At least somewhat it's natural. Then there becomes, you know, people now in this country, if they regulate some of this shit and do it through them, it could be okay. Now they're getting people to do all different kinds of shit with it, man. Fucking sell people drywall and fucking just off the wall crazy shit, man. And then people end up dying. And then it's ridiculous, man.
No, that's what I've heard. Yeah, is that like the drug itself is like not nearly as dangerous as the shit that it's cut with. You know, like you're not supposed to fucking sniff up baking soda or some shit. You know, like
yeah,
that's That's no bueno for sure. And apparently getting that kind of shit in your bloodstream is what gives you like a fucking heart attack or something, you know. So, oh
See, it's strange. Like most of the stuff I put in my body is like, it's like if I drink, for example, like I rarely drink, but if I do, it might be because I'm sick or I'm getting a sore throat or like,
yeah,
something like that, or at least to put a little alcohol in my blood to, help clean things out. But, um, like if I was in a jungle and I was fatigued, I mean, I wouldn't have no problem taking cocoa leaf and putting it, if I needed energy, if I had to move somewhere or go somewhere, yeah.
yeah,
But
right,
yeah, but nowadays the world is kind of so perverted. They just take shit and break shit for money, and it's strange.
right, yeah, yeah. I don't know. We'll see what the future holds. I also don't want to die and say that I never did it either. You know, like you
Yeah.
never even tried it. You know, like you lived 7 years, you never even tried it. It was like right in your face, fucking 50 times. You never even just to see what it was like. You know,
Uh-uh.
so I might fucking do it. We'll see. But um, so another interesting topic which we could fucking rant on for days would be fantasy football. You play fantasy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, so fucking fun, man. I don't even like football. It's like, it's so crazy. I never watched the NFL. I never gave a shit about any of that. But my friends, they had like an 8-player league or something, and they had 7 people. They needed one more. They're like, please, dude, come on, we need somebody to play. And I was like, I don't know anything about football, man. I'm just going to get my ass kicked every week. They're like, no, come on, man, you like it. And I was like, all right, whatever. So, and I think only one person in our league had ever actually done it before, so it was like a bunch of rookies. And I was like, fuck it, whatever, so I joined it. And, dude, like 1 week into it, I was hooked. I loved
Yeah,
it
no
so
question.
fucking much, man. It was just like, it's so detailed, and you can dive in, and you gotta, like, wait on the waiver wire and try to get the best player you can fucking get, and who you think's gonna blow up this week, and is this person gonna come back from an injury or not? And, like, dude, it's awesome, man. I fucking love fantasy football.
Yeah, no question. It's fun, especially for breaking down stats and shit too, and watching how the game changes. Like, dude, something you never do in fantasy football. I'm a Washington Redskins fan for a long time,
Yeah.
dude. Do not play Des Bryant when they play Washington, and that's
Really?
on a fantasy fet. I'm not even favoritism because I'm not really biased towards my team or not. I like a lot of teams. I understand that
Yeah.
it's like the National Football League. It is the most elite guys. Like the team that people say sucks will fucking shit probably on any other professional team that you could put together as far as
Yeah.
players that aren't already in the league. But dude, people play Des Bryant all the time against Washington. I hear them like, "Oh man, it's gonna be a big game this week," and I'm like, "You're a fucking fool," because our
Yeah.
defense doesn't. Like, we play in the NFC East. We play in, like, the Eagles, the Giants, the Cowboys. Like, teams that have been to the Super Bowl. Probably, our division has probably more Super Bowls than any other. Uh, you're going to play some good talent over there. But Washington has decent cornerbacks every year. So it's like, I don't know why they didn't play them. And it's a rivalry game. So
Right.
it's strange.
Yeah.
Who you
I
think
had
you're
Des
going to draft
Bryant
this
last
year?
year actually, and he fucked me. I got rid of his ass. I traded him for Fitzgerald, who was fucking killing it, by the way. So
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was a good trade. But it's weird though, man. Like, you'll think you got some awesome fucking player. Like, I got Marshawn Lynch last year, and I was like, fuck yeah, I
And
got
then
beast
yeah.
mode. And then he fucking tore his ACL or whatever it was, and fucking didn't play the whole season. And guess who else I got was goddamn Jamal Charles. I thought I got him as a steal. I was like, he's gonna be coming back after a couple weeks. He's gonna be running the fucking league again. Psh, he played in like 2 games and got like 11 points the whole fucking season or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
fucking terrible.
See that's what determines whether you win in the league is injuries. If you start getting guys with injuries, that whole fucking team could fall apart. Like
Yeah.
especially when you're drafting like a quarterback. So you want to get like an Aaron Rodgers or like I
Yeah.
don't know, somebody that's just gonna be very consecutive and not get hurt. And that can throw the
Tom
ball like
Brady.
Tom Brady. Yeah, yeah. Can throw the ball no matter who he's got out there.
Yeah.
It's like Big Ben, he's kind of wishy-washy. It's like,
Yeah,
you
he
know,
can
our
have a
quarterback,
huge
he's
game.
wishy-washy.
I've had Roethlisberger the last 2 seasons, and he can have like, he can have a huge fucking game and get you 40 something points, or he
Yeah,
might get you three. You know,
yeah,
and he seems to go out a lot with injuries too. So
he does.
yeah, people
That's
always
what that's like
chopping at
you
his
gotta watch
legs.
running backs too. Like the shit that's gonna help you out a whole lot too, especially when drafting, is like getting a decent defense. Like,
Yeah,
because you don't want to lose fucking 30 points. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Get down there. You want to pick a solid defense that's gonna keep people under 21 points all
Dude,
year long.
yeah, those are hard to fucking pick though, man. Like some teams that have like a badass defense in theory do fucking terrible, you know.
Yeah,
And then there are certain other teams that are like interception machines, and like fuck man, who was it? I think it was the Cardinals like 2 years ago. Dude, they would score so many fucking defensive points, man. They would just like
oh yeah,
always get interceptions and run them back to the fucking house for a touchdown. Like,
dude. The Cardinals, they still have that defense pretty much. I mean,
yeah, yeah.
dude, they freaking. I had them, I think, last year.
Dude, I
And
had
then
fucking David Johnson.
yeah,
Oh, I think he was #1 like all season, dude. He scored so many fucking points for me. I ended up third in my league in the tournament, and in the season I was #2. So, Johan, he ended up
damn.
getting he went like fucking 12-3 or something fucking crazy, you know. So, I think I went 12-2 or 12-3 the season before that. My first time ever playing, didn't know a fucking thing about football. I
Yeah,
fucking killed it, you know. Like, cause when it was time to draft, I'd looked up some guides online and shit, and like ways to draft your team, you know, and
yeah.
you know, in this round you should get this, and this round you should get this, and so I mean I had a pretty good draft, but dude, the waiver wire is where it's at, man. When an injury comes up, you got to be on that shit, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
no question. You gotta hope that your shit is
uh huh,
above somebody else's, because they'll get his ass, and then you'll be real fucked. I tell you what, I lost 3 games last year because I didn't fill in a guy, or I would do it like trying to do it on my cell phone because I didn't have a computer much to do it on. I was like, God damn it! So
yeah,
I would go into the phone, you know, and then all of a sudden, game day, I would just remember and check. I'm fucking locked in. All my players done played, and I lose a game by 3 points, and all my bench has like 50, 60 points. I'm like,
yeah.
dude, the hell?
Dude, fantasy is so fucking fun. If you haven't tried it, you got to try it. It's amazing. Like, it sounded so stupid to me in theory, you know, but then the cool thing is that, like, you give a shit about terrible teams that you would never watch otherwise. They're like, oh, the Buccaneers are playing against the Bengals or whatever. You're like, I don't give a fuck about that. But you're like, dude, I got the running back and I got their defense. Like, oh, this is going to be crazy, you know? So, yeah, that makes it a lot of fun for sure. And so when is the season gonna be starting up? What is that, like fucking August?
I think preseason starts in August, and then like the regular season starts in September, I believe.
Is it? Okay, man, I can't fucking wait. I love that shit. Um, so I think that's about it for my topics. I got another one, which is breathing versus oxygen blood, and I just don't even feel like fucking diving into that one or explaining what the hell that's about. You got any topics?
Hell yeah, man. What are your thoughts on aliens?
I think most of the stories are fucking bullshit, but I 100% believe that there are aliens out there.
I agree.
Yeah, but
I agree.
I heard
Except
an
for that,
interesting.
you gotta watch that. You gotta watch that fucking one on Netflix, dude.
Yeah, you think you told me
That
about
shit was
that?
alright. Yeah, it was called like extraordinary the Stand something story or something. It's fucking
Right.
crazy.
Yeah. Did you ask me for a link earlier?
Yeah,
For what?
to throw on Twitter.
Ah, guess we're too late now, huh? Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'm surprised it didn't show it to you automatically, but there you go. But anyways, I heard an interesting theory recently where they were talking about how, like, I have always been 100% convinced that there's intelligent life out there. I just thought if you look at it mathematically, there's 100 billion fucking stars in our galaxy, and then there's 100 billion galaxies or whatever it is. It's like, it's so fucking many that, like, there's not a chance in my eyes that we're the only one. But I
Yeah,
did hear
yeah.
something interesting where they said, like, we can see so far away now and see it well enough that you could see evidence of intelligent life if there was, for instance, the things that we're going to be doing in the coming, you know, millennia is going to be visible, from other galaxies, like so, for instance, one example they had was like making solar powered panels that would block out part of the sun. That's something that you would probably do if you had the ability to, because you could just harness so much energy and do so many things with that amount of energy. And and some of that stuff is like hard for us to comprehend now because we're just not nearly at that level. But but the thing is, the universe has been around for like 13 billion years or whatever, and even if some other smart, intelligent life out there reached our point where we're at now, like,
Yeah.
1% earlier than us, then it still would have been fucking many millions of years ago. It's just
Yeah.
it's a weird thing to think about, like the universe being so fucking old that like 1% is like many millions of years. And that
Yeah.
if this kind of thing happens, I don't know how often it would be, but if it's out there in the universe somewhere and it only happens X amount of times, that it still would have happened so many times that we should see some sort of evidence. You would think, So it's an interesting theory. I mean, I don't necessarily know if I believe it, but I don't know. It's interesting. So even if there is intelligent life out there, we might be one of the most advanced. Like, we might be one of the first to develop that far. That's one of the theories. So
That's pretty cool. Like there's more developing.
yeah. So given many millions or another fucking billion years or whatever, like some other groups might be coming together, but as of right now, there's not any evidence that we can see, and you would think that you could see some.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but what else you got there, fucka?
Um. So, would you rather snow ski in Montana with Hillary Clinton or hang out with Bin Laden on a summer day?
I mean, I would rather hang out with Hillary Clinton for sure. I want nothing to do with fucking Bin Laden's ass. I'm not real excited about hanging out with Hillary either, but dude, if you were hanging out with her, dude, she gets the VIP treatment everywhere she goes. You'd be living like a fucking boss.
Yeah.
And hell, I mean, to be fair, Bin Laden, I'm sure he was getting that same kind of treatment as well, actually. But he had to fucking hide out. He couldn't ball out in public, man. They had satellites looking for his ass left and right, so he had to stay indoors in some fucking compound. And
In a cave.
yeah, so I'd go Hillary all day. What about you?
I don't know, man. That's one of them questions that I sit back and just debate.
Yeah,
It's
hey,
like,
fair enough.
it's like, hey, I'm basically warm day or cold day? Warm day.
Yeah,
I don't really know, man. I don't know. I really don't like Hillary Clinton.
yeah, yeah. I don't either.
She's fucking. She liable to be a damn witch.
Oh
She's
yeah.
just something fucking ain't right. She got that crazy laugh.
Oh, she does, dude, for sure. There's like all these clips of her like just fucking like howling away. You're like, Jesus, man, take it easy.
Yeah, pipe it down.
Yeah.
Good lord.
And it's an interesting thing related to that is I've heard before, and like, I mean, I've seen some scientific studies that have shown this, that men are basically repulsed by women's voices, you know just
Yeah.
like that shrill fucking hair. You know, you're just like, oh, like, you just be quiet. You just be quiet, you know? And that's definitely not always the case. I mean, I definitely don't feel like that all the time, but there are a lot of women's voices. They just have a certain, like, you know, nasally kind of quality. And I'm just like, ugh. Like, and they say that that's like an evolutionary thing, you know? That, like, supposedly that's, you know, some of the explanation behind, you know, some of the misogyny that's out there.
Yeah.
um, I don't know, but it's that's a whole fucking can of worms I don't want to get into, but it's still.
Good lord.
So I mean, I've heard that about like Hillary's speeches and stuff like that. Is it like people just don't want to hear it? They don't want to hear her speak, you know. And she's definitely kind of got like a very, you're just like, oh,
It's funny,
you
dude.
know.
She like went to Texas, and all of a sudden she showed up with a Texas accent. How y'all doing, y'all? Fucking
Oh,
like,
I didn't see that.
hey, wait a minute.
Uh,
What the fuck's going on here?
where is she from originally? Like Connecticut or something?
Fucking
One of them
hell,
fucking
I don't
filthy
know.
rich places.
I have
Yeah,
no clue.
I don't know. But I do know that it's fucking 12:33 already, and I'm supposed to be somewhere in like 6.5 hours, so that's gonna be a problem.
Rockstar life.
Yeah, man. But I don't know. Any wise words to close the show?
Shit, nah, man. Just make sure you guys check out the website, www.dopemusicsouth.com. Check out the music on there. Just started a couple new reggae projects, so hopefully we're looking forward to upload those soon. And make sure you guys subscribe as soon as you get on the website, and it'll get you some free beats, and check out some of the ebooks.
Yeah, yeah, good shit. And definitely feel free to check out the redshift.net. There's an ebook on there as well, and a mailing list where I talk about like more recording gear, and I want to get into some more mixing tips and stuff. I know that's stuff that people want to learn more about if you're into music, that is. So, but yeah, dude, thanks for being on the show, and we'll have to do this again real soon.
For sure, man.
Like maybe tomorrow. I don't know. I might be getting back late. We'll see.
Hey, I'll be up.
Yeah. But all right, thanks, man.
All right, man.